In the winter of 1897, the mining settlement of Gray Ridge vanished from the official record. For 40 years, the town appeared in railway schedules, tax books, and land surveys. Then, in a single month, every mention of it was methodically deleted. The railway company updated its regional maps to remove the station name. At the regional mining office, workers burned the ledgers containing the town's financial and operational history. County archives replaced their original land surveys with new versions, scrubbing the settlement's footprint until the valley appeared empty. This purge was a highly orchestrated effort to rewrite the geography of the northern mountains. It was an administrative execution. Decades after the purge, a cracked glass plate photograph was found inside a sealed box. It captures a typical day: wooden cabins in the snow and a rail line cutting through town. Following those rails to the valley's end, a dark mine entrance appears. An enlargement of the plate reveals a line of workers standing near the tunnel. They are completely still, not entering, not leaving, just waiting. Scratched into the stone above that entrance are 3 words: "Do not open." The warning is impossible to reconcile with the facts. By 1897, the mine had already been open and operational for 17 years. Someone had carved a warning on a door they were already standing inside. When Gray Ridge was founded in 1880, it was a purely industrial venture. The official reports cited massive deposits of copper and silver, ore enough to justify decades of labor. As the population grew, the company built a boarding house, a blacksmith shop, and a schoolroom. It was a permanent community, anchored by the mountain's profitability. The mine operated on a relentless cycle. One crew entered at sunrise, another at sunset, and a third worked by lantern light after midnight. For 17 years, the valley was filled with the sounds of iron wheels and hammers. It was a rational, predictable machine. The shift began in the autumn of 1896. The miners started describing a sound that had no place in an industrial operation. It was a low, rhythmic vibration coming from the floor of the deepest tunnel. One worker described it as a pulse, writing that it felt as if something enormous was breathing under the rock. The phenomenon caused immediate desertions. One man walked 18 miles through a snowstorm to reach the nearest town just to get away from the sound. He claimed the mountain had a room in it and that someone was knocking from the other side. The company initially dismissed these reports as superstition, attributing the noise to shifting timber beams and the natural settling of the mountain. These explanations failed when the tools began to move on their own. Each night, the workers left their picks, shovels, and drills in a storage chamber near Tunnel 7. Each morning, the equipment was found deeper inside the mine, far from where it had been left. The tools were found arranged in straight lines on the floor. Every piece of iron pointed toward a specific wall of black stone that the company had no plans to excavate. The foreman attempted to stop the activity by locking the storage chamber and posting guards at the entrance. The locks remained intact and the guards saw no one, yet the tools were found at the black wall again. This time, the numbers 7, 13, and 28 were scratched into the rock beside them. The movement of heavy iron through a locked door suggested an influence that wasn't human. The numbers signaled something inside the mountain was communicating. When we return to the surviving photograph with this context, the posture of the men changes. Look at their faces. These men aren't waiting for their shift to begin. They have formed a human line at the mouth of the tunnel. They are staring back at the darkness, acting as a final barrier between the town and the black wall. The company realized the situation was unmanageable. They could not mine the ore without disturbing the presence behind the stone. The erasure of the town was the final step of containment. By destroying every map and railway record, the company ensured the mine would never be found or reopened by anyone else. They didn't just hide a secret, they buried the location to keep the door closed. Blank spots on historical maps are usually the result of slow decay and lost records. In the case of Gray Ridge, the silence was engineered. The company destroyed its own profitable history to prevent anyone from ever looking for that isolated valley again. It is a reminder that some gaps in the historical record are not mistakes, they are deliberate defense mechanisms. Sometimes a page is missing from history because someone decided that the information it contained was too dangerous to survive. Silence is often a warning.